Hey y'all, it's Joe for here, the Cranky Old Gay Guy. It is Monday, the 27th of October, and Halloween is coming up this Friday, so I hope that you're prepared. I certainly am not, because I don't think I'll be doing anything on Halloween, not even answering the door, because it's just not my thing. Well, today started off slowly. I slept too long. I mean, it's dark outside, so I don't want to get out of bed. It's cold. You know how it is. It's fall, winter, and it's miserable. I took my car in today to a tire shop to have the struts and shocks replaced. I was asked by the tire shop to do that last year, an actual year ago, because they said it was dangerous. But, they wanted a lot of money, so I didn't do it. I did price around this last week, and I did go back to the same tire shop, Les Schwab. Shout out to Les Schwab on Columbia Boulevard, because it was right around the same price as a private shop up the street. So I went ahead and did it with them because they have better warranties and, they're professional. And when they say it's done, it's going to be done. I don't have to wait an extra day. I drove down there and then I took the city bus home. I did have to wait about 15 minutes for a bus to show up. And I wasn't thrilled with the first bus. And since there's a bus stop on both sides of the street on 21st, I didn't know which was which. One said north and one said south, but I wasn't sure how the bus got to that location because one of them says Sunderland, which is it's kind of a homeless camp. It's a homeless village that's down towards the river. And I know the bus goes by there, but the bus from New Seasons, which is on 33rd, it heads that direction. And I know it goes there, but I wasn't sure if it goes there first and then comes back to Columbia Boulevard and down west, or if it goes west, cuts over to Sunderland, and then goes back down. It's confusing. So I just kind of stood between the two. The bus came down. I ran across the street, waved him down. He did not pull over to the bus stop I was standing at. He just stopped in the middle of the road, opened the door, and I asked if he was headed back towards 33rd. And he said, no. I said, thank you. And he just closed the door and drove away. I know he might be having a hard day. There was nobody on the bus but him, but he was kind of a dick. I'll be honest. He was a dick. He wasn't polite. He was like, you made me stop. It's your job. It is a bus stop. So I walked across the street, went back to the other stop and waited and waited and waited. The bus did arrive and there were only two people on it other than the bus driver. So there wasn't a lot to watch or view. There was this woman who looked like your typical late 20s, early 30s, not dressed up, not dressed down, average looking, her hair could use some brushing, no makeup. And the only thing that really stood out about her was that she had about 17 piercings in her lower lip and one in her nose. Not on the side, but a ring through the middle. But these were just grouped up and then just kind of sporadically just all around the bottom lip. And it wasn't asymmetric and it wasn't an inviting pattern. So I don't know what would entice someone to do. I mean, I know people with lip rings, but I don't know why you'd put so many and group them here and just kind of off. It looked odd to me. The other person was middle-aged guy sitting up in the back. And we were the only ones on the bus until we got almost to my stop. On Killingsworth and 33rd, I was going to get off at New Seasons, which is a block away. 3 people got on, and that was about it. It was very uneventful. While I was at the New Seasons stop, I went ahead and went in New Seasons, and I bought a can of beans because I was going to make my 3-bean salad. And I did pay twice what I would pay at a local grocery store, at a regular grocery store. But I don't have a car to drive there, and I didn't want to drive 15 minutes to get somewhere and then wait in line and walk to the big store and all that just to save, 99 cents. I bought my beans. I came home. And let me tell you, making a 3-bean salad took a hell of a longer, took a hell of a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm going to pardon me for just a moment. So pardon me. I had some drainage going on, which made me stop mid-sentence a second ago. And I wanted to get that out of there. So the 3-bean salad, it was really easy to open the beans, drain them, rinse them, and put them all together. And then came the herbs. I had to go out and pick fresh mint. And it's not super fresh right now. I was going for the young green sprouts because the cold weather's already caused it to die down. And then I went out and I got some, what is it? It's not a leek. Another word for an onion that's not a leek. It's not an onion. And it's not a leek. It's not a scallop. Maybe it is a leek. I'm not sure. But I know that there were some in the garden bed outside that have been there just coming up on their own for like 3 or 4 years. So I brought some of those in, shook the dirt off. And then I went out front and I started cutting fresh fennel. Just the little fuzzy fronds, not the seeds. And trying to find those that are fresh and green too. I mean, I had to go for new growth because of the cold weather. Everything is turning brown already. I chopped those up, and then I had to chop all of this stuff up. Also, I had to chop up an onion. I know, life's hard, isn't it? But I spent over an hour making this damn salad, and then I had to make a dressing, which wasn't that big of a deal. I did try to grate my garlic, like this Greek woman, Diane Kotinis, did in her video, but it just mushed up on the grater and it didn't fall out. And it did grate it really, really fine, but then you couldn't get it off the grater. So I ended up taking another garlic clove, 2 cloves, crushing them and then just chopping them up and crushing them, chopping and crushing. And it took a long time. Added my mustard, my salt, my pepper, my vinegar, whipped it all up, poured it over the beans, mixed it in. Then I went ahead and separated the beans into containers, portion containers. So I didn't want extra liquid of the dressing to pool in the bottom because then it's going to make everything mushy. So I did that, put it in the fridge. I went ahead and ate one of the containers. Not the container, but I ate the bean salad in the container. And it was okay. I mean, it looks much better in the video that she showed on her TV show. And she didn't use fennel. She used parsley, but I didn't have any parsley. And she did say if she had been home in her Greek island, she would have been using wild fennel instead. So I thought, hey, that's cool. I can do that too. She used fresh green beans and she steamed them. I used canned green beans, which they don't have the same brightness. Her beans also, her pinto beans were really a bright brown, even though she said they came out of a can. Mine came out of a can, and they're like a really light brown. They look almost like pork and beans that haven't been seasoned. And then I went ahead and got I think she called them cantilla beans, which are just white beans. My white beans look white, but my green beans look dull. Yeah, the canning process really dulled those. How does it taste? It's edible. I don't think I would want to eat it as an appetizer. I know I mentioned yesterday that I tend to eat one thing at a time, and I don't really make sides or anything like that, or courses. But this will definitely be a side. I will not be eating it straight. I might eat it in the evening when I watch TV just as a snack. I'm not sure. So tomorrow, if I'm up to it, I'm going to try to sear some Brussels sprouts with mushrooms and garlic and some seasonings, and just kind of like do a seared stir fry kind of thing. Because again, her TV show made it look like it might taste good. Now, I like Brussels sprouts, but I usually cut them in half, oil them, put them in the oven and let them get all crunchy. Salt and pepper too. And let them get all crunchy because They sweeten up and they taste better that way. I don't mind putting them in a casserole dish and baking them. That's good too with salt and pepper. They're kind of, again, they once they heat up, they get sweet, which is it's not too sweet, but it's a nice sweet. It's almost like a caramelized sweet. Um, I know people who will put them in a dish, cover them in butter, and cook them. That's kind of gross. You don't need all that butter, and the butter changes the flavor. So now you're tasting butter instead of the actual flavor of the Brussels sprout. So don't do that, okay? Just don't. Another thing, as long as we're on this subject, broccoli is in the same family, I believe. And I steam broccoli and just eat it. Other people I know cover it with salt and pepper. Ugh. Or they boil it. Ugh. That gets all the nutrients out of it when you boil it. And then they'll take broccoli that has been steamed, and then they put cheese over it. They don't just take a slice of cheese. They take like a Velveeta squeezy cheese and just cover it in cheese. So again, all you're tasting is the cheese and not the sweetness of the broccoli. Broccoli too, once you steam it, it's really sweet and delicious. And I don't say that lightly because food's not my thing, but that's the taste I like. Okay. Steam it till it's bright green. Don't overcook it and don't eat it too raw. I can eat raw broccoli, but it's just a crunchy, chewy mess. Oftentimes you see it on a vegetable tray, and that's when I end up eating it raw. I don't buy it a lot, but when I do, it's for steaming. Boy, this is just a ramble, and I'm not even cranky about anything. I guess the only thing I can be cranky about today is I'm just really, really tired, and I'm sure it's the weather. I took a couple dog walks today, and it was sunny outside. When I walked back from taking my car in and getting off the bus, it was sunny. Cold, but sunny. Um, but I don't know. I think it's just the season. It's wearing me down already. And everything is just like sore and oh, oh. And I haven't done this for a while for you guys. Stretching. Oh, well, actually, what you want to see is the pits because I know that a lot of you are into that. But, well, it's chilly in the house, so I have my t-shirt on because I don't want to turn the furnace on until November. That's what I'm shooting for. Last night, I almost broke down and turned it on because it was freaking cold. Is it going to make that big of a difference? No, not at all. Not at all. As far as when I turn it on. But up here, it's going to make a difference because I said I wasn't going to do it till November. And I try that every year. And I try not to turn it on or I try to turn it off at the end of March. Sometimes you can't do that, but I try. Why? Because I don't want to be dependent on it. And I think my body needs to acclimate more to the climate that we have here and not rely on outside heat or inside heat coming from a furnace, but it's outside my body. My head, I don't know what to say. Except I am going to call the tire shop and get an estimate of when the car's done because I have to schedule about an hour to get there, get to the bus stop, wait. It only runs every 30 minutes. And then it's like a 5-minute ride to get there. Okay, I got to go now. I will be seeing y'all tomorrow. Stay cranky, my friends. Stay cranky. Bye-bye.